What's up guys, it's Will back again, and today's review is season 1 of the Netflix original series Stranger Things. I was actually going to review this one anyway because it's been such a hot show for a couple weeks now, but it was requested to me by Gaga on my Would You Rather review that I released on August 10th, so I'd like to give him a shout out in this video as well. Okay, so let's get into my review of Stranger Things season 1. Okay, so Stranger Things is a sci-fi horror Netflix original series that was written and directed by the Duffer brothers and was released back on the 15th of July via the Netflix online streaming service. The story takes place in the 1983 fictional town of Hawkins, Indiana, where pretty much nothing bad ever happens ever. But this time something bad does happen when a young boy by the name of Will Byers mysteriously goes missing, and his family and friends, as well as the Hawkins Police Department, begin desperately trying to find him and bring him home. The thing that's interesting about this story is that Will's disappearance is not the only unexplainable thing that's happening in Hawkins, Indiana at this point in time. There are strange things that are happening that are simply unexplainable and obviously very unusual to the town of Hawkins, where everything is typically pretty quiet. This story follows a plethora of very clearly identifiable characters that each play a key role in the uncovering of the mystery of Will Byers' disappearance, among other stranger things going on as well. There's a secret government facility doing things that the public has no awareness of, other Hawkins citizens going missing, and other unexplainable phenomena that have our characters wanting to dig deeper and deeper to find the truth. There's also a mysterious young girl named Eleven who is found in the woods by Will's friends when they're searching for him. She ends up also playing a very key role in this story as well. Okay, so that's as much of the plot as I can give you without spoiling anything for you, but either way, I want to let you guys know that this show is absolutely fantastic. It's been a cultural phenomenon for almost a month now, and I can't disagree with the hype surrounding this show because it's well deserved in my opinion. Now, as you've probably heard, this show is definitely an 80s throwback that implements themes of 80s culture while at the same time recognizing and imitating the styles of famous director Steven Spielberg and author Stephen King, among others. And that style 100% works here because all of the elements of this story fit cohesively together to form a narrative that you can immerse yourself into. There's mystery elements, there's horror elements, and there's some very, very emotional scenes that will reach you on a deeper level. This story has pretty much everything you'd want out of a TV show, and I felt like I had to keep watching because the mystery slowly unravels itself as you get more information as to the possible explanations for Will's disappearance. At first, I had no clue what was going on, but I felt like I had to keep watching because I needed an explanation and resolution for these odd events that just keep happening. This show to me is mostly about the mystery of Will's disappearance, but I will say that there are plenty of horror and sci-fi elements that will keep you entertained as well. The horror scenes are actually really well done and scared me more than I'd like to admit. These scenes don't happen too often, but when they do, they're very impressive and very scary. So to me, the best part of this show is the characters. As I said, there's an ensemble cast at play here, meaning that there isn't really one main character, but rather a ton of characters that all get relatively equal amounts of screen time. This show does a really great job at balancing a number of storylines and characters that somehow all seem to trace back to the main storyline of finding Will and bringing him home. There's definitely some subplots and side storylines going on that will give you a little bit more info about the characters themselves and add some depth to them, but eventually the storyline will veer back towards the search for Will. There's really 3 separate groups of characters that you're gonna spend significant time with in the show. The first being Will Byers' group of friends and the mysterious young girl Eleven. If you've ever seen the J.J. Abrams movie Super 8, these kids interact with each other and ultimately contribute to the story in a way that is very similar. Now, I'm not gonna lie, there are some moments where the kids could be a little bit too much for me. As a 25-year-old man, there are some times where I felt like I wanted to spend some more time with the adult characters of the show because the kids' personalities and interactions began to wear on me just a little bit, but this only happened like maybe 2 to 3 times. Other than that, each of these kids contributed a lot to this story that I really enjoyed for the most part. Each of them was acted very well and brought something different to the overall dynamic of the group that felt pretty familiar, but it worked because it was executed at a very high level. The second group of characters you'll spend time with are Police Chief Hopper, played by David Harbour, who at times works with Will's mom, Joyce Byers, played by Winona Ryder, to help find her son. They have some run-ins with the government and such, and things get very interesting very fast. And finally, you have Will's older brother, Jonathan, played by Charlie Heaton, who at times works in conjunction with Nancy Wheeler, played by Natalia Dyer, the older sister of Will's friend Mike. All 3 of these groups of characters and their storylines are all leading back to the same purpose of finding Will, but they all implement different methods in their attempts to do so. I think all all the characters are compelling in their own way, but my favorite characters were 11, played by Millie Bobby Brown, and Chief Hopper, played by David Harbour. 11 was an extremely well acted and charismatic and capable character that pretty much stole the show in my opinion whenever she was on screen. She does things that will leave you amazed and wanting to spend more time with her character because of what she brings to this story. Chief Hopper is also great because he's funny, charismatic, and capable, but in a different way than 11 is. The creators of the show explore Hopper's backstory, and it helps provide you some insight into why this case is so important to him and really what motivates him. Once again, excellent storytelling. The interactions between all the characters feel genuine and actually flow really naturally. The dialogue is very well written, and minus a few instances where jokes fall flat, there's actually some quality humor sprinkled in there as well. This show is mostly focused on the mystery, drama, and horror aspects, but there are some lighthearted jokes and moments, mostly from the kids, that really work well. The music in this show is also fantastic. The intro music especially is very unique and eerie sounding, and it's instantly become recognizable for me now. Composers Kyle Dixon and Michael Stein completely knocked this one out of the park, so kudos to them on their excellent work. Okay, so overall, I really loved season 1 of Stranger Things. It had a ton of really great elements all mixed into the pot that complemented each other really nicely, and I can't wait for season 2, which was actually set up perfectly at the end of episode 8. More specifically though, I thought Stranger Things season 1 had a very interesting, dramatic, scary, and well-told story, fantastic characters, great dialogue and overall interactions between the characters, and excellent music that added to the dramatic and eerie tone of the show. The only knock that I can put on this show is the kids can be a little overwhelming at times, but this happens very infrequently. I'm gonna give this show a 10 out of 10 and say that Stranger Things season 1 is an absolute must watch for anyone and everyone. So did you guys watch season 1 of Stranger Things yet? What did you think of it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if not, let me know whether you'd be interested in watching this show or not. And as always, if you like this video, click that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for much more content like this. Thanks again to Gaga for the request, whose channel link you can find in the description below. That's all for now though. This is WillFoxification signing off. See you in the next review.